hope you had some time to practice at home as well with, for example, the monochromatic paintings of whatever you see in your direct surroundings. For example, right now I am painting oil paintings in just raw umber and white. I've never done that before, but I'm having so much fun in it because the nuances between the lightest light and the darkest dark, that whole scale, the enormity of the grayscale, forces me to make decisions. What is lighter? What is darker? What stands out? What has a sharp edge? What has a soft edge? All these things are, you can play forever. It is very interesting to see how every step you feel more mastery. So with the gouache in your sketchbook, and I urge you to get a sketchbook with beautiful paper, you go outside, just take one color. Take burnt sienna, for example, and white, and a little bit of water. And then play with that. Make the drawings. Of course, you always have a pencil. And make the drawings and see what is further away, what is closer by. The help of the gouache will make you, like the sky, have a faster result than if you had to hatch and cross-hatch. I have nothing against pencil drawings. I actually love them, but it's a long and tedious way to get a picture on the paper, and when you have gouache it goes a lot faster, and also it resembles oil paintings more. Now you can go out in the field with oil paintings with one color and make the composition. Just practice that and see if you can play with it, and see if you can really get very sensitive of all the gray tones and how the sun hits certain things. Because sometimes when I did plein air paintings, I already smudged it with a cover-up, and actually the sun hit certain leaves so bright I could not get that back. And when you learn how to see all these gray tones very fast, you can. Now in this lesson and in this exercise, we're going to work with the still life painting that we did before. And now it's another practice. So just surrender to the practice. Now we're going to see what the average color would be. And now we're going to fine-tune our sensitivity to the colors. Watch it. In this case, I have 2 apples. And I'm using the viewfinder as a frame, but you do have your, inside your template, you can put on it, and we're going to divide this painting on paper into squares. Again, do it with your template, it's much easier, and I have a white colored pencil, because it shows better on the painting. Now we're going to copy that on another piece of paper. And we're going to take the average of every color we see on the original. So let me show you a little bit what the original is. You have this next to one another. So each square has an average of color. That's what you're going to meticulously do for the whole painting. So I call this pixelating. It's probably not an English word, but I don't care. What it does is it heightens your sensitivity to color, to what really is happening there. Is it a warm red? Is it a cool red? Is it mixed with blue or is it mixed with yellow? All these things you have to meticulously show in your new painting that is of 1/2 inch squares. I'm going to show it again, and here is the blues come in, and we mix it with the reds, which makes it a purple. And slowly we're going to look at every color separately. Take your time. I love this exercise. At first you think, what am I wasting my time for? But really, it is so nice to be able to mix and see, oh, is that the color that comes out? Oh, is that what's prevailing? Could it be this? Or maybe a little bit more blue, or maybe a little bit darker, maybe a little bit more green. So then I'm adding yellow to it. Then I go back to my original painting and think, oh no, this can be a little bit lighter. This can be, and see where the blues, for example, of the napkin might be the same, because certain spots they will be the same. The shadow part of certain blues will be the same. Now this, for example, is fairly even all the way. There's no folds, there's no, it's just a plain cloth. But you still can add some of the subtleties of the color. Here it's brighter. I hope you can see all this. If you can't, I think your everybody's eyes can be trained in seeing more colors. If you're colorblind, that might be a big problem. Let me know if that's the case. Maybe you don't see any of these colors, or they're all gray, because in that case we're going to do a value only. Then you take one color and you make the whole values that way, which is very interesting too. I actually think it might be even more interesting. So it's not only that you have the color, is it warm, is it red, is it blue, is whatever, but it's also the darkness. Is it darker or is it lighter? Where's the lightest light? Are we adding a little bit white to it, or are we adding yellow to it? All of this comes into play. And very often you have to choose an average. And the average might end up being just perfect. This is how you learn the sensitivity for colors. it might not look like anything right now when you see it, but when you see the finished product and you see it from a long distance, you think, oh wow, it really looks like the original painting. And if you want to do that with a large painting and then even pixelate it even more, so still smaller parts, then you can do that. The effect is amazing. I think it's totally amazing. So this is not only about color, but also about value. How bright is it? How light is it? How dark is it? And what's the average of the two together? Do the best you can. I would love to see what you come up with. Now, when you squint, look through your eyelashes, and you see the original next to it, there should not be any difference. If there is, you can still adjust it. But now, hold it very, very far away or squint. Holding it far away is actually the best way to see how accurate you are in this process. Up close, you might have a problem with liking this at all.